Hey guys, and I just want to say that your worst trait in life is the thing that will get you the furthest. I went on a run the other day, like a week ago, before I went on holiday, and I'm training for a half marathon right now, so I'm trying to hit certain distances. And yeah, that day I ran 17k, which is the furthest I've ever run in my life. And I run 1.5k laps around like this area, so I had to run like 12 and a bit laps. And I remember my like Achilles, it started hurting within the second lap, and the best way I can describe it is like it felt like a bruise, but not a bruise. Like it was very sensitive, and I could feel it every single time I ran. And like I've had knee problems in the past, so like I was worried, but I kept running, and there was so many reasons on this run I wanted to stop, but I didn't. And I came home feeling like so accomplished and proud. And I was just sat there like on my bed thinking, what makes me do this to myself? Because my like when I came home, I physically couldn't walk. I was limping. I had an actual bruise on my leg, and I thought to myself like I take it too far, and I thought of it as a bad thing. And then I thought like how many other aspects of my life does this apply to? Because I do it the same with drinking, and the same with everything I do in life. I have this like all or nothing, black or white personality or mindset. And in some ways, like people have tried to villainize me for having that type of mindset where they're like, I don't know, like people try and make it sound like it's the worst thing in the world. But I was sat there thinking, and I thought the reason I get so far in life when I want to do something is because I take it too far. And like, I don't know, people could say that's the worst trait about me, but logistically, it's the reason I don't stop when stuff starts hurting. Take drinking, for example. The people who take it too far with drinking, they're always in the game. And like, my point of that is like, when I know I want to take it too far on a night of drinking, it's, I know I have no bounds, you know? Like, people say they have no limits. And like, they try and say it as if it's a bad thing. Obviously, with drinking, you shouldn't really take it too far. But like apply that now, like the no limits idea to something else in life. If you have no limits, you never stop trying. You never stop pushing. Whereas some people will always set themselves limits, like with drinking stuff, because they'll be sensible. People who take it too far in life, for example, they don't care about their risk. Like, let me take drinking, for example. When I take it too far when I drink, I'm all in the game. I don't care about the physical discomfort I'm in. I could puke and I couldn't care less. I would still get more drinks after. What's it called? I don't care about the physical embarrassment I'm in. Like, I could embarrass myself in front of a group of people and I'd still continue to do it. And also, like, it's like a pack type of loyalty thing. Like, if I had friends and I know they're in the game for it, or I knew they needed to take it too far, I would double down and do it with them because that's the type of personality I am. And maybe it's not the greatest when drinking, like, we should all have control and stuff like they say, but take that now, take those aspects of who I am and apply it to a situation like running. And I realize why I do so well with running, because whilst other people might stop when they get heart palpitations or like start feeling pain in their ankles or their knees, and like they might stop and say not today, I ignore it. Like I ignore it to the point where it's physically probably unhealthy. Like it's probably gonna cause me bad pain afterwards. But I just trust in God and I keep going. I like there's many times my mom has said I've taken it too far with running to the point where I've hurt myself, but like I achieve my goal at the end of the day, and it's because I take it too far. If I didn't take it too far, and if I knew my limits and I stopped myself, and when I felt like stopping, and when I felt like this wasn't good for my health, I wouldn't achieve what I want to achieve at the end of the day. And it's just one of those thoughts that really stuck with me, that like we live in a generation where like everyone tries to villainify you for having such out of the box type of personalities, you know. If you're not like this neat type A person who does everything organized and structured and this and that, you're meant to be a villain. But I feel like the worst traits of every person's personality, when applied to the right thing in life, it's gonna take you the furthest, because it's your niche. It's a special thing that's given to you almost, that other people can't achieve no matter how hard they try, because a sensible person in no way is ever going to be able to take it too far, or even in the aspects of drinking. Like, a sensible person will always have those limits, whereas someone who has this all or nothing personality or a take it too far personality, they will never have those limits in life. They'll never have those limitations because their brain just doesn't think that way. My brain doesn't think about me when it thinks about something. My brain sees a goal and the only thing it sees is achieving it in life. You know what I mean? Like, and it's the same even like for people who could be called avoidant people in relationships, you know? People paint that to be a bad thing. Yes, in the sense of relationships, being an avoidant person is probably the bad thing to be, right? But in a sense of like, say you're working in a job where you have to work with people and not get attached, that's a superpower, you know? because avoidant people can do that, you know. Like, I know there's probably multiple jobs in the world where you have to work with people probably and you can't get attached to them because emotionally you just can't, you know. And that's where an avoidant person would go well. Like, I think it applies to everyone's worst traits in life. Like, I don't know, some people are loyal to like crazy extents, like my mum, you know, and everyone probably, not like say loyal, that's not even a bad trait, you know, but I mean like, there's just like, I don't know, maybe like crazy loyalty, and everyone complains about those type of like, I don't know, people who kind of, but when you want one of those people, I know my mum's the first person I'd go to, you know, because she's such a loyal human being. I love her the literally world. I know I can trust her. Like, she is my ride or die. Or for example, like, people could be like obsessive, like my dad. He's very like, when he has something, he gets stuck on, fixated on it. And people could say that's a bad trait, you know. But then you look at that the other way, and he's the reason we get so far in life, because he never let, like, when he's obsessed or stuck on something, ultimately it's always helped our family, because what he's stuck on is always trying to help us as a family. Like, people try and paint people's worst traits out to be, you need to fix this and you need to change this about you, and like, you need to do all this to become this type A person to fit into society and be just the same copy paste standard textbook person as everyone else out there. Okay, look, everyone has a messy side to their character, you know. We're all human beings at the end of the day, and I think that's perfectly fine. I'm gonna completely admit it, I'm still messy, you know. I live in a messy room 90% of the time. Maybe sometimes I do take it too far with drinking, or I've gone better at it, but maybe sometimes that still lives inside of me, you know. I definitely don't care enough about what society thinks of me. I can't take myself seriously 90% of the time. I have a lot of anxiety. I have a lot of bad things about me, but applied to the right aspects of life, and they become my superpowers, you know. And I hope if this helps anyone else out there, just, you don't have to change yourself to fit in to the society, because if we were all the same, it would be a boring world, like they say, but also that's not how any like natural selection, like, even if you like apply this to like a scientific theory of evolution, you need to be different to survive in life, you know. We learned this in like basics of biology. Like, the ones with the genes better suited to society, like better suited for survival, will move on, adapt, and reproduce. And it's the same in life. Whatever you have that's different, which is different and lets you stand out from the rest, pushes you forward in life. So if someone is out there villainizing you for having this trait of yourself that is bad to them necessarily, look for something you can turn it to where it becomes your superpower, you know. Think of something in your life. I think my way of seeing what you're really good at is, think of something in your life that comes to you unsuspectingly easy when it seems really hard to everyone else. And usually in those like type of hobbies or traits, you find out low-key what your superpowers are, because it's like when I looked at running and I thought, like, why does this come to me so easy? I've loved running since a little kid, since like I was 12. Like, why, and everyone else like struggles and I can just run fast and easily. And I realised it's because I got the mentality for it, and that is because of my personality traits. For so long too, you know, I used to hate my personality, and it sounds bad, but like, we are who we are, like, with personalities based on how we've grown up, our experiences, our traumas, whatever, you know. Like, and I used to hate like the fact that I'm like this because of like maybe like all the change and the moving in life, and I despised it so badly. But then like I think of it like this, and I think like I'm so happy to have that type of mentality, like a mentality where I have no limits. My mind is never going to stop me, you know, because my mind is just as crazy as I am, in the sense, when I find the thing I want to work on, I'm never going to stop at it, you know. And by God's grace, with God's help in life, I hope this takes me far places. But yeah, that's all I want to say today, guys, and I hope everyone has a good night, and yeah.